Mic is on. Camera's on. Dual Brain is in the house. There's my buddy Ed. Good morning. How you doing? Good to see you on the round table, bro. I know, right? I got an invite yesterday morning during the live stream with Mr. DJ Long Hair himself for stopping by to show some love and support over here on the channel. I really appreciate that. It was a good time. I loved it. I got new stuff to morning bro. I really need to figure out how to have guests on my live stream, right? Riley, so the young man at Table Games there, him and his pop, John, he wants to do some two-headed dragon drafts with myself and company. Mrs. Alfonso. So we're gonna try and set that up. It should be pretty neat. The other thing is we talked about doing a transition video where, and I'll show you what I meant. Like, say for example, for the transition, we'll uh, we'll start kind of like facing this way, and then like magic card from the side, and then like show the card, and then like turn it around and then pass it to the next person, and then they kind of do the same thing. So that was pretty neat, interesting to talk to those folks. I invited him to participate in the transition video, and I hope he really does. Jimbo Magic Jim, morning, buddy. Nice to see you. Morning Magic Stocks. I've got something amazing for you folks today. It's Friday, November of the 11th, 11/11, which is it's a great day numerology wise. We got a great show for you guys today. It's friggin' it's Friday, right? We're stoked, we're pumped. It's yabba dabba do time. We get through today, we can have ourselves a weekend. I appreciate you folks for tuning in, checking out the channel this morning. Jumbo Magic Jim, I got myself. Brody's got a coffee, and he's got some news for you folks today. So that's pretty great. Let's check it out. I'm gonna go over to this place. We've been checking this place each and every day this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I just gotta do something here. Let's get the window capture working properly right now. Where are we? This one and this one right here. Cool. All right, neato, groovy, cool, right on and happening, hip to the jive. Little Magic the Gathering content for you folks here this morning with your host Brody, the MTG Stocks. We're checking the movers and the shakers list and who's the talk of the town. It's Friday night. I hope you have your deck all sleeved up and ready to go, shuffled, cut. You've play tested, and you're gonna head on over to F&M. And don't just bring a friend to Magic, bring a friend to Brody's. Invite him to the live stream. You could come check it out. Everyone's welcome here to talk MTG stocks in the morning. The first stop on the way on the road to whatever adventure has you lined up for the day this Friday, November 11th. So the talk of the town, we get to do it. Today is Friday, the weekly winners for 2022, November 11th. Let's read the cards. A lot of spikes, not a lot of spikes. We have to report, right? Third party information says there are not a lot of spikes this week. We see a bunch of 30th anniversary cards and interest, but these seem to be prices finding a point to settle. The supply is still so low that it can go anywhere. This week we found a few cards to discuss that move because of Commander and Pioneer, with Brothers War being released next week and being available on Arena soon. I expect more may happen on the upcoming weeks, while the news brews are being tested in Wild and which way we see cards truly pulling their weight. Cavalier of Flame. Let's go through a couple of cards. These guys got listed as the bump up in price. This is pretty weak if you ask me. Not a lot of action here. A tick up a couple of percent for this red 6/5 Elemental Knight. 3 red and 2 says for a red and 1, creatures you control get 1/0 until end of turn and gain haste. That's like a mass fire breathing. So the Cavalier of Flame gives everything haste and 1/0. When it enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards and draw that many cards. So another, what do we call that? Sad mom hug, cathartic reunion. Discard a bunch to draw a bunch. When it dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. So if you had lands go there this turn or any others, it's going to deal some damage. I don't know if that's enough to wipe the board, but it's kind of a oh, charisma. So here's a card off the bottom 10. Here, I want everybody to just take a look back at some of the videos. Charisma. Now, this card may or may not be on the reserve list, but you know what card is? Sustaining Spirit, Sundering Spirit. It's a red. It's the red one. The red one. It works with charisma. Oh, this is a this is a great card. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a creature, you control that creature as long as charisma made remains in play. So, charismatics, is it sustaining spirit? It's not a sustaining spirit. We had it on the bottom 10. It's it's early. Brody's having a little trouble. Subterranean Spirit. That's the card. Subterranean Spirit. A charismatic subterranean spirit can win you the game. Let's check this out. MTG. Spirit. Gotta get this. I'm spelling it wrong. There. Turanian with a double TER. Let's check this card out. Subterranean Spirit. Here it is. A charismatic subterranean spirit. This card is on the reserve list, and charisma is not. But if you want to give anything charisma, check this out. Subterranean spirit. If you're gonna buy the get this card. 2 red and 3 for a 3/3. Protection from red. Tap it. It deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. So this sticks down. It's an elemental. We get to sing the dwarven mining song. Air hot with sulfur. Earth he's beneath me. Could it be the mountains? Ate something bad. Ah, dwarven mining song. So check this out. You play the subterranean spirit. You hit it up with a copy of Charisma that says whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a creature, you control that creature as long as Charisma remains in play. It was Gerard's nature to lead and the Mercadians to follow. You can just take all the creatures on the board. That seems pretty good. Let's see how much of a bump up in price. Not only do you get the stocks here today, but you get some tech to go with it. Foil 43 for a foil copy. $15.25 for this card. Earl of Drummer. Jamie. Oh, Dune. How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Pretty stoked to have you folks with me here today, November 11th. We're talking MTG Stocks this morning with the Earl of Drummer, Dual Brain, and Jimbo Magic Jim. Morning, howdy, boys, boys, boys. Check this out. The movers and shakers for November 11th. The talk of the town, it's Friday night. Make sure you got your deck sleeved up. Charisma. So this card it was sort of on the bottom 10. It's not reserve list and it's 3 mana, it's 3 blue, but it's just a one crazy enchantment that we love that works really well with Subterranean Spirit to take control of all the creatures on the battlefield. Let's just do Turanian. I can't Brody can't spell Turanian, subterranean. Yeah, Brody can't spell it. So here's a card we like with charisma if you're just checking the channel. And the next weekly winner for this week, what we have, biotransference. Like, okay, so let's just lead the tech. They don't have too much. They don't have too much on this card, right? There's not a whole lot. What is going on? 30th anniversary update. Okay, so the Cavalier of Flame. Let's go back. We'll get back to that card. I mean, saw it playing standard with Fires of Invention when it came out in Throne of Eldraine. Rome Crusher Giant, but we want to see who's talking about the charisma. One of the older cards that's not on the reserve list, but also has not received a reprint for 3 blue. You get an aura that whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a creature, you gain control of that creature for as long as charisma remains on the battlefield. Excuse me. Let's just have a sip of coffee. I'm really excited about this card. Oh my gosh. Frig me. Foil version must be a mint. So when the enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent's creature, you gain control of it. What's important to note here is that it says damage rather than combat damage. Hello, Prodigal Sorcerer, anyone? Can somebody please write these folks and tell them the Subterranean Spirit is way better? It seems to be. I mean, you could target with the Tim card, but that seems like why get it done in one shot? Why not get it done in one shot? It seems to be picked up to upgrade the Warhammer 40k Tyrannid Swarm deck. It's also found in builds. I gotta make sure the chat is up for you, boys. Just give me a second here. I almost forgot. Where's the chat box? Where's the chat box? Brody's gotta put it up. Why is the chat box not working? The chat box is not working this morning. Let's. Why not? Why not? Where's the chat box? Chat box. The chat box. Chat box is getting us down. Font center. Source. Done. I really don't know why the chat box not cooperating here this morning. Source. For some reason, chat box is down. Let's see if we can fix this. The straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah, people are wigging out about MTG 30 a little bit. Um, can you guys see the chat all right in the on the channel there? Just give me a comment there. I can see I can see the comments, but uh, I can't tell if you guys have comments if it's just broken over here or not. So let's get back on target. Brody, stay focused. Back on target. A lot of ground to cover here this morning, November 11th. We got 7 people watching, fans of Magic the Gathering, who are tuning in for a little bit of morning coffee. It looks like the chat's working all right for you folks today. So let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. There's no lawn. It's only snowing. No lawn to be mowing. Okay, so Warhammer Court Tyrannid Swarm deck. What's that card? What do they recommend it worth? Okay, pre-build. Precon deck. Works with some Precon deck, Charisma, and Garrison Starn. What's he do? He's also from Warhammer. Ward 2, 3/2. Whenever another sorcerer you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent, Garrison Starn Keldermorph deals 2 damage to that permanent or player. Okay. Ravika Wizard Savant, 2 damage to any creature or player, does not untap. And Tibor and Lumia, whenever you cast a blue spell, target creature gains flying. Whenever you play a red spell, does 1 damage to each creature without flying. They haven't listed Subterranean Spirit. Shout out to everybody watching. This is way better, and it's on the bottom end of the reserve list. You tap it, it deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. So a charismatic subterranean spirit gains control of all the non-flying creatures on the board in one shot. Brody's got some next level tech for you boys here this morning. All right, let's keep going down the list. What else do we got? The talk of the town. Biotransfers. This is a weak list this week. I'm really kind of disappointed, but it's new material, so we'll take it. A commander card going up because of commando. It's biotransference. It's a card found in the Necron Dynasties 40k deck. It's an enchantment for 2 black and 2. It gives creatures you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards that you own that aren't on the battlefield. And whenever you cast an artifact spell, you lose a life and create a 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature. A lot of text on this card. They're calling it an immediate include to several decks with a commander from the 40k series. Examples would be Sarketh, the Silent King. A flying 3/4 will be done. Whenever he attacks mill 3, put an artifact, creature, or vehicle from among the milled cards into your hand. Or Anarchan the Traveler, a 4/4 for 5, a black and 4, Lord of the Phyrexian. Does that? No, Paria, Lord of the Pariah Legions. Whenever Anrakir, the Traveler, attacks, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand or graveyard by paying life equal to its casting cost rather than paying its mana cost. It's like a Bolas Citadel on a creature. Surprise, surprise. This one also kind of does the other shenanigans with the graveyard. Imhotep, the Stormlord, a 3/3 for 2 black and 2. When one or more artifact cards leave your graveyard, create 2/2 Necron warrior artifacts. Nice. Yeah, man, that would have been totally better. I like the schematics, but the selection of artifacts was garbage. Definitely the B grade artifacts. Just gonna catch up on chat here. Hey, Mythic Hunter's in the house. I do like to see that. Thanks for the comments. Some awesome aspects with the are Transformers doing now. Are they now canon to Urza Mishra War? I don't know, Earl. Like there's no way to know. Things are getting interesting each and every day. It's been an exciting week. So, Temporal Trespass hitting this list, this is barely even worth mentioning. And 13 mana spell lets you take another turn. But let's read it anyway. Let's do one more temporal. So the bonus card on this list this week is from Fate Reforged, a sorcery for 11 mana. It lets you delve for an extra turn, and then you have to exile the spell. So why is it seeing some play? Nexus of Fate and Time Warp are simply better, yet Temporal Trespass has delve, meaning the card can be a whole lot cheaper. You're able to fill your graveyard, pitch all 8, you can take an extra turn for the potentially low cost of 3 blue mana. You take another turn, it's always going to see play at least casually, and it's got some appeal to players, meaning they'll usually be worth a couple of bucks. Lately, it's been showing up in the Izzet Phoenix Pioneer deck as a 2 copy. The decks are usually a good at filling their graveyard fast because Arclight Phoenix. I think that Expressive Iteration's a good card too, but they want to cast at least 3 spells to make them come back. In the meantime, they use Ledger Shredder to loot through their decks, finding the pieces they want while growing them. Take another turn, just a few mana. Seems like a great way to finish the game. Why not? It's get yourself a Subterranean Spirit to go with a copy of Charisma. Cheap pickups. We got Anguish Unmaking, the instant speed Mardu card, removal, exile, target non-land permanent. It hits absolutely everything or anything you want on the board, as long as it's not a land permanent. Sorin had created Avacyn, so it was a cruelty beyond imagining, a pain beyond description, but it fell upon him to end her forever. Wow. Okay, so that's moving up a couple of bucks. It's $4. We've probably all opened a couple of these. So, maybe time to trade them in. Prime time Slowly drifting up. The reprinted giant, the 6/6 for 2 green and 4 that goes and gets lands. It puts them on the battlefield. It's played in Cloud Post. He's a boy. We like the Primeval Titan. He's always going to have a home in a deck. In Legacy with Amulet Titan, Candelabra of Tawnos, and all the good stuff that is Valakut, Primeval Titan. And Comet, the Stellar Pup, quite possibly one of the cutest doggy puppies in Magic. The only other one that I think is cuter is the other pup, the white one. He's pretty lovable. Cuddleable. This Boros Planeswalker has a 0, roll a d6. I can't read the rest of the cards, so we're going to have to move on. Check out the chat. Just flying. Everybody's in the house. Morning Michael Superbacker. Mythic Hunter. Dual Brain Magic the Gathering. Johan Matuzzi. Brody's on fire all the way to Sweden. Jimbo Magic Jim, all the folks stopping in to say, hey, this morning, talk a little MTG stocks. We just blazed down the list. Michael Superbacker, we got some tech for you. So this card is coming in on MTG stocks hot movers and shakers list. Charisma. Check this card out. 3 blue. Now, I'm not saying pick this card up because I got something better for that. I would wait for this to come down or find a deal on it. 3 blue. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a creature, you control that creature as long as Charisma remains in place. So you put this enchantment on a creature, and whenever it deals damage, any way, anyhow, you get control of that creature. So the card we want to use this with, now they've got some recommendations. They've got Prodigal Sorcerer, they've got Rico Wizard Savant, they've got a couple of cute cards that do a little damage, one here or one there. But the card we want to play it with is a card that Brody can't spell. Subterranean Spirit is a card that's red. It's only $1.32, so here's a pickup, and it's on the reserve list. It's got protection from red. It's a 3/3. It's 5 mana, but you tap it and it deals 1 damage to every creature without flying. You put the charisma on this, and it gains control of all the non-flying creatures on the battlefield. Arguably a slightly better tech for everybody who missed that spot. Let's run over the list for you folks today, the movers and shakers, the list we come to see. In Legacy and Vintage, Tabernacle coming in at the top end of the list this morning. Holy smokes. $4,924. I saw this in a video game case in GP Portland, the one you gotta like put the revolving key in. Oh, and like people were sitting there for hours putting $5 bills in it, trying to get one. It's up $285. It's on the reserve list. It's a Legends card. I would have thought there might have been a few more of these in circulation since the Lost Legends, if we dare to call it that. Where are we playing this card? It's a sideboard tech card, and it's also played in lands. Blue Tinker has it, Paradoxal has it, Tempo, and all the Visions decks. Prison Shops, Lands, Doomsday, Midrange, Oath of Druids, and Jeskai play this. It's great tech against cards like uh, what's the release the ants. You know, when people just go off on storm off on turn one and make a bunch of creatures without any intention of paying upkeeps for them, it stops explosive creature decks in their tracks. It's really expensive. It's a card you probably want to work your way up to. It can be a down payment, but it's fun. It's a fun card to play. It's coming in at the very top of the movers list this morning with Tundra, the blue dual lands. We've seen every dual land on the list this week at one time or another, at one place or another. This one's the one that makes blue white. I love it. The unlimited version, it's $1,299, up 20%. And then these dual lands all seem to have taken a bump up in price. DJ Longhair still up, putting in work, doing real man's work, staying up late and burning the midnight oil. The guy is here in the house. Appreciate the DJ for the roundtable. Anybody who hasn't checked out the MTG roundtable on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock, That's the place to be. There is amazing guests on there yesterday. I gotta say, Anger Collectibles. Wow, that was an amazing round table last night. Anybody who didn't catch it, make sure you do check it out over at Mr. DJ Longhair's table. Love it. Let's go down the list some more. We're talking a little MTG Stocks this morning with Brody. We're talking Charisma, Subterranean Spirit, and this card, Force Field. It showed up twice on this list this week, coming in at the number three spot, three from the bot, three off the top. $750. There's no way. This is bizarre. There's this. See, I think it's funny, right? So there's some price action. People are maybe it's funny. There's some shenanigans that can be done with this algorithmic software. So, for example, people can buy and sell to themselves or to their friends or others on eBay or any of the platforms that this algorithmic software is tracking. I want everybody to be aware of that. It's a pitfall, it's a downfall, it's a no, no, don't pay attention to that type of thing. So when you see some spikes, you gotta wonder if you listed a card and you're not supposed to do that. You're really not. But if you want to move a chart, there's people who do shady stuff and shenanigans. It doesn't mean that this card is actually being bought. It's saying it might be bought. So whenever we see a spike on this list, it's a good thing to go to the eBay sold listings, see if the card is actually selling. Check the inventory at the vendor shops, which we can do here. There's one available for 600, and then look at some of the eBay listings, particularly the sold listings. We can get a heavy play copy for 274, and if you're up here in Canada, it'll probably 401 Games is going to have a cheap copy, not at $750, but it did make the list, which means it has some interest. The unlimited card that was not reprinted and revised. A beautiful card, a 3 mana old school artifact. It says one. The next time a creature of your choice would deal combat damage to you this turn, prevent all but one of that damage. You want to attack me with a uh, Blightsteel Colossus? I'll take one. You want to attack me with a Primeval Titan? I'll take one. You want to attack me with a Merit Lage token? I'll take one. You want to attack me with a Force of Nature? I'll take one. You want to attack me with a Shivan Dragon, Mahamodi Jijin, Sarah Angel, or any of the other flyers? I'll take one. So it's a pretty interesting card. I can see why they decided not to reprint it. Makes games go long. Speaking of which, Mahamodi Dejin, somebody who can finish an old school game in 4 cracks of an old man's bat. The Mahamodi Dejin is a 5/6. The unlimited version is up a couple of points today. 58 points. Holy moly. Eternal Weekend. Eternal Weekend. Eternal Weekend. Say it 3 times fast. Eternal Weekend's coming up in December, and the old school and Eternal formats are the place where you're going to see this baby played. It's used in the deck, it's used in blue builds and control builds. It's a big beast of a boy, the Mahamodi Dejin. He's sold out on the vendor shops. This is not a sustainable price for him. Wait for a restock. And if you got revised copies of Mahamodi and you just want to play Magic, that's the place to be. How much is that? Coming in. It's seen so many reprints, but you need like the old art for old school. So that's why like you're like, why is the Masters Edition 38 cents or Origins? But then you're like, oh, the early I can see the Alpha Beta, but it's not like it's a rare too, right? Alpha Beta Unlimited, it's a rare. So you get into the early 3 4 sets, it gets expensive. But the revised copy, the all ever loved revised copy, $3. Revise is there for people who want to play Magic. Very nice card, sweet art. Somebody's rubbing the lamp this morning to get that Mahamodi Jijin. Take care, guys. Heading home from work now. Have a great weekend. Later, Johan. Peace to you, my man. So many pretties yesterday. You nailed it. You're absolutely right. No comments from the brain. He's driving, but he's there in spirit. Safe journeys. Cutest card, by the way, is Harmless Offering. Yeah. Morning, MTG. Joe with Brody. Yes, buddy. DJ Longhair. Tom Mitchell's in the house. Nice to see you here. Sweet plugs. Love it. Yes. Michael Superbacker, Jimbo Magic Jim, the Earl of Drummer, Jamie, and Mythic Hunter. Man, you want to check out some sweet deck boxes, handmade and otherwise, leather bound deck boxes? Go over to check out the Mythic Hunters, handcrafted fine wares. Let's run down this list. Vesuvan Doppelganger, which one is this? Unlimited cards. The unlimited cards are seeing a little bit of price action here this morning. You may have Vesuvan Doppelganger enter the battlefield for $449. You may have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Except it doesn't copy that creature's color, it remains blue. In the beginning of your upkeep, you may have it become the other creature of your choosing. And it copies that ability. It's the original Doppelganger, Shapeshifter, copycat card. This baby has amazing art on it by Quentin Hoover. It does have a revised copy, and it's on sale. Check out the revised copy if you really want to get yourself a Vesuvan Doppelganger for $10. Now's the time. You can actually find one right here, $11 for the Vesuvan. Plenty of stock in good condition, which we know isn't very good, but it's the least of the conditions that you can get. You get one for 15 or $20. If you can find a near mint one, $20 bill. That's crazy. Like, some people want to say about Magic changes and the more things stay the same. Vesuvan Doppelganger was a $20 card when Revise was printed. And it's still a $20 card. Even though things may ebb and flow, it's a collectible card. It's on the reserve list long term. It's seen some spikes and some attempted buyouts, but this is a card that is sweet. It's on sale on Revise, it's on the reserve list, and you can probably find yourself a nice copy of that. Vesuvan Doppelganger Earthquake, a red card. It's also good in dragons. Deal some damage to the board to those ground creatures. Non-flying creatures don't take it. Unlimited version, old school, $11. No, $110. Where's the revised copy? If you're a player, $2-3 for a revised. If you're a collector, get the unlimited. Or like start with the revised, maybe you like it. And one day you want to trade into another one. But get your hands on a copy of like that's it's $3, right? It's $3. So you can find out if you're fond of the card. You can always get like an older version if you become a more collectible type of guy. If you're like me, you want to play your cards, so get something that you don't mind shuffling. Earthquake's on the list again today. I do like the text box on this. Kind of a nice looking text box. Does X damage to each player and each non-flying creature in play. Dan Fraser, the guy who did the Moxing, so that's why it's such a crazy card. Lich card. The Lich card is on the list again of the movers and shakers this morning, November 11th. Thanks for everybody tuning in. It's Friday, yabba dabba doo time. Everybody's got their decks shuffled up and ready to go for the weekend, right? Right? You're heading to Friday Night Magic. Bring a friend. Bring a friend over to morning MTG Stocks with Brody. This card, I thought it worked with Shieldred, and it does. It kind of does, but you need another game piece on the board that says if you run out of cards, you win the game. So maybe like a Jace. I'm pretty sure there's one that does it. Or like the Thassa's Oracle. I don't know if that works with this and Shieldred, but as Lich enters the game as the original curse enchantment of Magic, it says you lose life equal to your life total. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life, and if you would gain life, you draw that many cards instead. Whenever you're dealt damage, you sack a non-token permanent. If you can't, you lose the game. When it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you straight up lose. So that's a bad thing. If you can harmless offer this thing to your opponent, speaking of harmless offering dual brain, this is a target for that. Give the Lich card to your opponent and then remove it. That's another way of winning the game. It wasn't reprinted and revised, so the only copy you can get for under a bazillion dollars or 289 is the unlimited copy. I'm sure they go up from there all the way from alpha beta being $977. We only see a dog card. Oh shoot. Let's fix that. Where's the dog? Nope. Bad. we got the dog card. Let's put the right card up. Brody's the Lich card. There it is there. Thanks for having my back there, P. I really appreciate it. So here's the Lich card. It's got pretty great art on it. Appreciate that. Still on the puppy. Yeah, Brody was definitely on the wrong card there. All right, running down the list, right behind that, the volcanic island. Let's put this baby up. Jeez. And then we get to go see my. Oh, here's a card that made the list too. Volcanic Island. We talked about these dual lands, man, and like the pretties from yesterday. Anger. The guy showed us, what was it, 80 dual lands from the revised. That guy's got a boatload revised, and I think they were. He had all kinds, 80 dual lands. So that's pretty amazing. Somebody who's been collecting for a long time. This card, it's the only the third printing. What is this? This is unlimited. This is revised. The revised copy. So the third printing of Volcanic Island. Let's have a little sip of coffee and shake it off. This little card here was one of the ones was reprinted in the Magic 30. If you guys, I wouldn't be so bad if one of my bros showed up to play Commander and he had one of the new MTG 30 dual lands in his deck. I'd be like, "Sweet, bro. Yeah, play it." I totally would. So the Volcanic Island, will be interested to see what the price settles in at for that version. The collector's 30th anniversary. Like, do they even have pricing for them? No, or not? Do they? Maybe. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Let's have a look see. But we know the unlimited version's like 300 bucks. Anniversary edition 30th. There's no price for this, right? So they don't have a price, maybe because they're not out yet. But we're going to see some shenanigans happen in the Magic world. What are people going to be selling these for? It's going to be interesting. Comment in the comment section below. Does that affect the movers and shakers list? Does it at all? I don't know. I mean, I'm pro proxy. I think proxies are a great way to develop the game and get people playing. Proxies are good in competitive play. I guess you can't play proxy in REL, but it lets you try the cards to see if you really like them. So on any of these cards, like you don't have to run out and buy them. If you got a play group, that's okay with proxies. Proxy it up to see if you want to play it first. For example, before you rush out and get yourself an $817 copy of the Guardian Beast, the furry little fuzzy guy from Arabian Nights, the 2/4 Beastie Boy that costs you one black and three, he protects your artifacts. He says you proxy one, see if it's right for you. But I think this is a super collectible card. I think it's on sale right now. If you got the scratch, maybe trade into it. As long as Guardian Beast is untapped, non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted. They have indestructible, and other players can't gain control of them. That's pretty friggin' cool. What am I doing here, Brody? Lich card. Brody is Brody's Brody's mecking up the screen. That's what happens. Lesson to the Brody. Lesson to the Brody. Don't have more than one. Lesson to everybody. Don't have more than one window open when you're screencasting. It causes confusion for yourself, and then you end up with a puppy on the screen almost all morning. But if you guys don't mind the puppy, it's a great card. We can take a look at the Beastie Boy, the Guardian. I like this card. Brody's all over the place here this morning, hoping to discuss this. This card is like not got a lot of depth on it. It seems like it's sold out at the vendors. It doesn't have a lot in stock. Mythic Hunter. I agree. I like proxies. Some cards are way too out of reach for limited budgets, right? It's crazy. Or like you need like one for every commander deck. So I know I got buddies who got 6 or 8 commander decks, and they're great decks, right? So what do you need 6 or 8 of the same dual land? Proxy. Can when the dual lands go up in price, you must proxy. When you have Commander Nice, you must proxy. So proxy good. All right, let's keep moving. We love the morning stream. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for joining me. Morning coffee and MTG Stocks. Drop of honey. Here's a card. Okay, let's do it. This card, Dual Brain picked one up at the event. It's expensive. It's on the reserve list. It's super neat though. It's like an original kind of card that says it says shenanigans. Okay, let's check this card out. Drop of honey. Arabian Nights, $834. Let's make sure the screencast is working here. Bro, been a minute, Tom. Yeah. So Drop of Honey, it's an expensive card. It's from the Arabian Nights set. It's a great card. Holding on to the honey. Let's read this card. And why is it so much money, right? But it says at the beginning of your upkeep, destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If two or more creatures are tied for the least power, you choose one of them. Where there are no creatures on the battlefield, sacrifice Drop of Honey. Okay, so this is like one mana. It's easy to cast. It's an enchantment. It's on the reserve list. Does this remind you of another card effect that was on there on this movers and shakers list this morning? Yeah, it kind of does. The Tabernacle de El Pandrilia, the Tabernacle of Pendril Vale, right? That card, I'm going to close this because this is causing nothing but problems, right? The Tabernacle of Pendril Vale is a card that wipes the board, but it gives all the creatures an upkeep. So it's arguably better, hence the price. But this card, the Drop of Honey, it sort of goes around the board and does a bit of the same thing. It does one at a time, right? It doesn't hit them all with an upkeep cost. There's another card if you want to discuss it is as an option is porphyry nodes. Porphyry nodes from player chaos. It's like a Drop of Honey, but it's white and it's only $1. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy a creature with the least power can't be regenerated. If two or more creatures are tied for the least power, you choose one of them. This is a card that I played in lands when I was playing lands without a Drop of Honey. This is an alternative card. It works great. If there's no creatures in play, you sacrifice Porphyry nodes. I like it. I like it. It's a good card. So you got a similar effect. It's funny, hey? So like it's the same card but in white. There we go. Rolling down, let's just do a recap for the folks. The puppy dog card, the weekly winners. We had the talk of the town for the prices here. Um, they're calling not a lot of spikes in price action this week. And why would there be with everybody kind of relaxing in the market? Let's just take a seat and find a soft and comfortable place to watch the reserve list cards move and the shakers. And if you don't have time to track the prices, let me do it for you. Up checking these lists anyway. You can always stop in and check Morning Magic Stocks with Brody, Magic Stocks and Magic Talks. And if you tune in, you may see a pair of Magic Socks. Okay, Magic Socks. Morning, folks. I got to run. Thanks for joining me up into the hour. This is your host, Brody, with Morning Magic Socks. Stocks. We'll talk to you all again real soon. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays. May the holidays keep bringing happy holidays to you. Jay, get some sleep. Yeah, buddy. uh, can't wait for it. Can't wait.